All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to AEP, the Annual Enrollment Period for Medicare. I am making this video because I've actually been asked by a lot of you to do it. So this is so you can take a look at my presentation before you come in and have better questions, have more questions, have different questions, or you can see this after you come into my office or we talk on the phone and you can kind of remember what it is we went after or went over throughout the year. Now, I do want to, bring this up to you. I was trying to think of a way, because different people shop different ways. Let's look at going into the supermarket. Some people go through the long line. Some people are using coupons. Some people are going into the express lane. Some people are going to self-checkout. All right, so I want to provide the opportunity for anybody who wants to do things the way that they want to versus me forcing everybody to fit into the way that is comfortable for me. So this is my website. It is www.hisfoundation and then .info. hisfoundation.info. It's going to look like this. Right? And you can go right up here to Medicare plans. Click on this. This is me, Pasquale. That's me and my little one. One of my little ones. Then click on Medicare. Right? And put in your zip code, whatever that might be. I'm going to do this in Monroe County for the time being. It does change per county, but I'm going over Monroe County in this video. Right? And hit my quote. You want to make sure that you're on January 2026. Now, here's what's important. You can go to this and you can go through your pharmacy. You can choose your doctors, see if your doctor is in network or not. You can go see your prescriptions and what they cover. I'm not going through that in this video, so that is for you to do on your own time if you want to. I want to do this. Why this is happening is 100 plans have left the United States. They just got canceled, and it affected New York in an extreme way. I used to be able to offer 23 different plans. This is showing 12 plans. Now, I want you to understand that I do offer MVP. MVP did not agree to be on my website, so I can still offer them. They're just not going to be in this listing, but everybody else is, okay? Now, that being said, 12 plans available, right? That is a misnomer. It is not 12 plans. It is really 4 plans and really only 2. So let me kind of explain that so you don't waste your time looking at different things. And the easiest way for me to do that is you have to remember that in 2026, the government raised the Part B premium from $185 to $206.50. So any of the plans, any of the prices that you're about to see are plus $206. That's why this one, in my opinion, is not valid. $224 plus $206. You're already looking at $431 a month. Right? I do not think that that's worth it. I can get you a significantly better plan than this, right, for $300 and something per month. So I don't think valid, but you could choose it. Right? This is also Medicare Blue Choice Freedom. Good plan, but you need to be aware that there is no prescription drug coverage because this plan was designed for veterans who get their drugs at the VA. Here's our first viable option, Medicare Blue Choice Core. I will go through this plan here in a minute. I'm counting down the plans so you can kind of see what you're looking at. This is one that I will go over. The Aetna Medicare Eagle plan. Again, it is a veterans plan, no drugs. The Aetna Medicare Elite. It is a plan. You could get it. It does have drug coverage, but you need to understand it is $84 plus $206 and a $1,250 deductible. That is not a viable option. You can do significantly better than that, right? Especially for the money you have to spend. So I'm not counting. So at the moment, we've only had one viable option in 5 different choices. Now, Humana Choice Give Back. This is a viable option. All right, I am going to go through this plan with you towards the latter end of this video. All right, so now we're 2 for 6. Fidelis, it is veteran plan. WellCare Simple. Okay, WellCare Simple is a viable option, so that's 3 for 7, except in Rochester, no one really likes WellCare. I represent them. I have had people on them. but the doctors don't really like them, you can call your doctor. So I'm kind of leaving them off and saying we're still down to really 2 viable options out of the 7 that we've seen. Blue Cross Blue Shield, again, right? $55 a month, again, plus the $206. So you're looking at whatever that is, $261. But don't misunderstand that you actually have to add dental on this as well. So that brings it up to $300 a month for this plan. I don't think that that's very viable. So we're still down to 2 options out of, 9 now? The WellCare one, right? So this one is viable, except, look, again, veteran plan. So we're still only really at 2, maybe 3. Go down to the next page. Here's Humana and WellCare, both no prescription because they're for veterans. So if we put all of these together, really the only 2 that I think are viable for people to use are going to be the Humana Give Back and the Blue Cross Blue Shield Core. So if you want to go through all 12 plans, if you've gotten the sheets where you can see all the plans, if you look through the book in Medicare and there's umpteen plans, there are a lot of options, but not a lot of options that are really for the normal person, for the non-veteran, for people. If I can even show you on this, I can show you plans that are dual special needs. If you're on Medicare and Medicaid, there's another bunch of options for those. But if you are not on Medicare and Medicaid, you are not a veteran, right? You're basically looking at the 2 options plus another option from MVP that is not listed here. That's why I said there's 4, but 2 good ones. I hope that's helpful in the first 7 minutes. So now I'm going to get through that, and I'm going to go to what's actually happening. Okay. Most of my clients, not all, but most of my clients were on the Blue Cross Blue Shield Extra plan in 2025. This is how that plan worked. Part A is $0. Part B is $185. Part C is actually negative $26 because they were giving you money back either into your Social Security or they were reducing your bill every month. Right? And then D is 0. So if you put this 0 plus 185 minus 26 plus 0, right, you're looking at $159 total. Then they additionally added on vision, hearing, and dental at no extra charge. So it was $159 total, which was a really good deal, in my opinion. That's why I told a lot of you about this plan. Well, obviously that plan's gone for 2026. Right? So now we've moved into 2020. Yeah, it's gone in 2026. So now we're moving into 2026. Now this is the new plan that's available. So A is 0. B has gone up to $206.50. That is the government that increased their Part B. Right? So this is a $21 increase between this and this. Then you lose the $26 on Blue Cross Blue Shield. So 21 plus 26 is 47. So already you can see that there's a $47 a month increase to keep similar plans. Not identical, but similar. On top of that, they were a little bit sneaky and they took away dental. Now, they didn't take away it completely. They're going to offer 2 cleanings, 2 oral exams, 2 x-rays. So preventative, but nothing that does caps, crowns, bridges, root canals, dentures, right? That is going to cost you an extra $43. So if we say plus 21, plus 26, plus 43, that is $90 more a month. $159 is now gone up to $249. That is a $90 increase for the same plan you have now. That makes me angry. All right, so, but here is the other option. Humana Give Back Plan. Their A is 0, their B is $206.50, but they're going to give you $55 a month. The D is 0, so now you're looking at $151, which when you realize you're at $159, you're saving $8. I mean, $8.50, but $8. Also, they're giving you vision, hearing, and dental, right? Full comprehensive dental, caps, crown, bridges, no implants, caps, crown, bridges, root canals, dentures, no braces, no implants, for the grand total of $151.50, which is less than where you were and less than where you could be. Right? So this to me is a competitor. Now, I know most of us have been on Blue Cross Blue Shield for a lot of our life, and somebody else is scary. Humana is a national carrier. They are larger than Blue Cross Blue Shield. I do this in 10 different states, and in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, and Arizona, they are a big competitor. Just Rochester, Blue Cross Blue Shield is kind of king because their headquarters is downtown. All right, that being said, what I'm going to do is get that out of the air. So just understand that there is $100 difference. I'm going to round $249, $251, right? There's $100 difference between these two plans. Now, let's take a look at the breakdown. If I can get that out of here. Hopefully I can get that out of here. No? There we go. Okay, what I tried to do is do some highlighting. Red is the more expensive. Green is less expensive. Blue needs some explanation. Okay, so this one is the Blue Cross Blue Shield Core Plan, Blue Core. This is the Humana Give Back Plan. So first thing we have to figure out is 0 monthly premium. We talked about that. 0 monthly premium. This one has a $55 a month give back. And yellow means that they're the same. I probably should have made this a different color. But this is giving you $55 back. So just, again, keep in mind, $249 a month, $151 a month, $100 between them difference. Right? All right, let's go next. This does have a deductible. This does not have a deductible. Your deductible is $330. But it doesn't work like you're used to it working. That's why I put this word excluded. Excluded in network are ambulance rides, chemotherapy, continuous glucose monitoring, diabetics, diagnostics, colonoscopies, mammographies, durable medical equipment, lab services, other Part B drugs, we can get into that, outpatient blood services, primary care visits, specialist visits, emergency rooms, and so on. So it's not just a deductible. It's really just there for surgeries or large procedures. Okay, but it's still there. I want you to know that it's there. Right? And that is red because it's more expensive. Just like over here, if you want to get dental, the dental is $43, where over here it's included. So it's more expensive. Now we have to get into the prescriptions. I am going to talk about this, but I'm going to save prescriptions towards the end because it takes a little bit more explanation than I want to do right here in the beginning. Okay? Do understand that they both have a $615 deductible, $615 deductible. But we'll get to the bigger part of that later. Scroll down here a little bit. All right. I think they start in a weird place, but we're going to go with them. So in order, this is blue, so we need to discuss it. You pay $475 a day for the first 5 days if you were in the hospital overnight for 24 hours. 475 times 5 days. From day 6 to day 90, you don't pay anything, right? So this gets reasonably expensive. Over here, it is $380 a day, but for the first 7 days, right? That's why it takes a little bit of explanation. So if you can do the math with me real quick, 475 times 5 days is 2,375. Right? So let's make this fair. 380 times 5 days is 1,900. So it's cheaper by over $400. However, if you're in for the whole week, 380 times 7 is 2,660. So it's $200 more expensive if you're in there for 7 days. So the reason why they did this is statistics show that when a senior goes into the hospital, they're in for 2 or 3 days. This would be cheaper than this, but this would be cheaper than this if you're in for 7. I just wanted to explain that. Outpatient hospital coverage. This is the biggest one and why I've got it in red. If you go into the hospital to get a surgery, and you get the surgery and you go home the same day after the surgery, that surgery is only $450. Outpatient hospital coverage over here, surgery services, $1,025. Yes, that is a large difference. It is more than twice. That's huge. Also, I want to explain ambulatory surgery center. So let's say you went into Strong or RGH Right? To get a surgery done, you're looking at $450. You go home the same day. If you were going to get cataracts done and you didn't go to the hospital but you went to Reed Eye, you're going to pay $450 plus the facility fee of $450, so you're looking at $900. Right? Over here, you're looking at $1,000, or if you're looking at Surgery Center, you're looking at $875. They don't do both. They just do one. Right? So in this case, that $900 is still cheaper than $1,025 if you're getting cataracts, but if you're in the hospital, this one is significantly more expensive. Right? Now, don't get me wrong, your $100 a month savings times 12 months is $1,200, so it's reasonable, right? But that's a lot. I would agree with you. Moving on. Doctor visits here are $10, but again, it's in blue, so we have to discuss it. Humana is $0, but you have to understand here there is an in-network and out-of-network coverage. Here, there is only in-network. On Blue Cross Blue Shield, you can see it is an HMO, meaning you can only go to the Blue Cross Blue Shield doctors from Batavia to Albany. This plan is a PPO, which means you can go to any doctor you want in the entire United States. It doesn't matter if they take Humana or if they don't take Humana. They will still use the insurance. That's why if your doctor is in network, you will pay $0. If your doctor is not in network, you will pay $30, which obviously is more than $10. I want you to know that that's there. Right? Now, if you go to a specialist, I think most of us go to specialists more than we go to our primary. If you go to your specialist, it's $55. Their specialist is $40 in network, $50 out of network. So even if you went to an out-of-network doctor, it's still less than their in-network doctor. Just so you kind of see where that's coming from. All right, scrolling down. Emergency room is $115. Urgent care is $40. Scroll down. Diagnostic imaging, meaning MRIs or CAT scans, $300. MRIs, PET scans, CT scans, $200. Saving $100 there. This is another big one. Oh, I should have put it in red instead of green. Forgive me. This is $15 lab diagnostics. Right? This is $30. Oh, I did put it in red. I'm sorry. $30 lab diagnostics. This is $50 for an X-ray. This is $55 for an X-ray. Right? The nuclear testing, that is if you're going in to get radiation therapy. Right? $200. This one is 20%. All right, let's keep this. Some of these are just more, they just list things out specifically, where over here they don't do that. I wish they did, but they don't. Scrolling down here. Hearing services. $55 exam, $40 exam. But $500 and $800 hearing aids versus $700 and $1,000 hearing aids. So exam is cheaper, hearing aids are more expensive. Moving down into dental. It is $43 more per month than you're paying, because over here it's included for free. $55 to go see your dentist. $40 to go see any dentist, because it's PPO. Also, they're giving you a $1,000 limit, all right, that you can use for restorations, periodontics, oral surgeries, extractions, endodontics, root canals, prosthodontics, dentures, crowns, bridges, all that good stuff. Over here, same thing. You can see them through here. Bridges, prosthodontics recommended. They just write it up a different way, except their limit is $1,500. So you're picking up an extra $500 on dentistry as well. Keep going down. Vision. $50 vision exam versus a $40 vision exam. $200 allowance for glasses, but it's in blue. $150 or $250. $150 if you go anywhere you want to get them done. $250 if you go to their plus providers. So if you go to their guy, you get an extra $100. If you go to any guy you want, right, you only get $150. You get shorted $50. Coming on to mental health. $470 for 5 days. $290 for 7 days. It's the same deal as it was before. It's just a little bit less expensive. Skilled nursing facility, they're both going to be $0 for 120 days. Physical therapy, that takes a little bit. So physical therapy is $35 a visit. I have to scroll way down. for whatever reason. $35 for a physical therapy visit. I don't know why that's so far down. Let's come way back up here. All right, now we're getting into the prescriptions. And this is, again, where you have to pay a little bit of attention. All right. So, they both have a $615 deductible. However, take a look at this. The deductible means that you pay the real price of the drug until you get to $615. So here you pay real price of the drug on tiers 2, 3, 4, and 5. Here you pay the real price of the drug only on 3, 4, and 5. So they're keeping their costs down for 1 and 2. That is a positive thing. How positive is it? Good question. Here, tier 1 drugs are $5, even without the deductible. After the deductible, they're still $5. Tier 1 drugs over here are $0. Going on, tier 2 are $15 after you hit $615. Tier 2 over here are $1 before you hit the $615. That's a nice deal. Even worse than that, tier 3 drugs after you hit $615 are 21%. I don't like that. If you're taking Trulicity, Ozempic, Eliquis, Jardiance, those $1,000 a month drugs, you would be paying $210 a month. Over here, $33. That's a big, big difference. Now, if we get into tier 4, you'll be paying 25% of your tier 4 drugs. This is where they start to lose out, 39%. That's not nice. That's 14% higher. So tier 4s would be more difficult. Tier 5 is 25% and 25%. So I still think this is better for prescriptions. 0 and 1, also with the $615 deductible not counting, and that $33 is huge for that tier drugs. And they both will have a cap at $2,100 right here. $2,100, meaning once you've got to $2,100 out of your pocket, whether it's $615, whether it's $30, whether it's $210, once you have spent $2,100, right, then you go into catastrophic coverage and you don't have to pay for anything. You pay zero for anything. Zero for anything. That is my basic breakdown of these plans. There are obviously other things we can talk about: acupuncture, chiropractics, podiatry, over-the-counter, gym memberships, meals. There's the other physical therapy. We can get into it. Durable medical equipment. So you can still see that they're there. Like here's your podiatry for $40, podiatry for $45. There's not really a big difference in there. The reason why they throw this in at the end is because the government says that they don't have to, but they choose to. Okay? And if you have any questions after that, please give me a shout. You can read in through here about Humana's foods and travels, but if we're looking to talk about gym membership, they're both going to offer the silver sneakers. One is silver sneakers, one is silver and fit. I hope that was helpful. I can give you these documents anytime you want me to. You can go to my website, and if you pull them up, let's see, go back to one. If you want to go to the core, you can say, I want to view plan details. And then I would recommend going all the way to the bottom. I mean, they're going to show it to you here, but I would recommend going all the way to the bottom, wherever the bottom is. There you go. And going to the summary of benefits. And then you pull up the same document I just got through reading through. If you have any questions whatsoever, please come to the office. Ask me. Call Debbie, my assistant, make an appointment. My number is 585-410-3168. If you want to do the self-checkout line, if I can say it like that, you can go right here and say, yes, you know what, I've decided, I think Pat's pitch was good. I'm going to go with the Humana plan for this year and try it out. And I'm going to go Humana Give Back. You can just click on enroll and start putting your information in, and it'll take care of it. I am happy to do that for you. Just send me a text saying I want to enroll in this plan, and I'll do it for you. I just wanted to give you this option to be able to review these things before seeing me or after seeing me, be able to review them, because this is the pitch that I will do at all of them. Just keep in mind, please, that it doesn't matter to me which plan you go on. If you go on the Blues, they're going to pay me $25 a month. If you're going to go on Humana, they're going to pay me $25 a month. I don't care which plan you go with. I care that you're happy and you understand the plan that you have, so you'll stay my client longer and tell your neighbors. Again, any questions, please give me a shout. I hope you're doing well, and I look forward to having our appointment this year. Goodbye.